Awesome. I'd like to call to order the Town of Selma Special Tourism Advisory Board meeting for Thursday, August 15th, 2024. Cool. We need to move in for a motion to approve the agenda for today. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Second. And let's move into the consent of the agenda, approval of minutes. Has everybody had time to review minutes? I know there's a lot of them. I've been reading through emails over the past couple of days. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
First and a second.
Yes.
And we're gonna move right on into railroad days. Alrighty.
Okay, so
To start off, you nailed it with that
Yeah,
one.
I love
Like,
it.
really, you nailed it.
I love it.
We are so this on the front would be the blown up posters that we're going to utilize. And I'm gonna lighten up those dates. Just it printed out darker than what I was seeing, so I'll get those lightened up a little bit. But for the most part, this is pretty much everything on that poster. So is everybody good with that? Behind that is our WRA contract. So this will be the first year that they will serve as the presenting sponsor for Florida Days. So we're really excited. That's
great.
I've spoken with the lady. They have 3 anchors that are scheduled to be here throughout the festival. So they have time slots. So they will be their biggest representation, of course. That presenting sponsor opportunity actually offers them the option to serve as grand marshal as well. So I'm working with her to see if that is something that they're going to be able to do. I think it will be, but I know is it Dan Haggerty? Scott Mason, and then there's one more that's on the list for that day to be here. So we've also opened it up for them to have other opportunities to serve throughout maybe the car show, the pageant, those kinds of things, just to get them here and in the town a little bit more. So that is something that I'll be working on after this is our recordings and information for those. So I just wanted you to have that printed out. I know you've already seen the contract, but I wanted you to have it printed out so that you can see. I did highlight in green what that included, like the main details of what it includes, so that if you have an idea or suggestion after you look this over, if you want to say, hey, well, why don't we include this, or do this, or something like this part. I just kind of wanted to get your wheels turning in regards to that. Does anyone have any questions about the WRAL?
Well, just like when I responded in that email, like, this is comparable to what other contracts would be along these lines. Okay.
So yeah, it's very, very similar to that. So we'll have some things that will definitely air long before. Okay. But I did ask a few questions because it did mention radio and that sort of thing. We do still work with some of our local radio stations, like City Network, so we want to make sure that that wasn't going to interfere with that. But I do think it's a good idea to have them on board for the pretty night. And then, if it's something that we can proceed with and evolve, possibly even evolve for the 50th, that may be a consideration. So.
The only thing that I sent in the email back to you was that it says 1 to 2 hour shoot at a single location if necessary. We really need to push that.
I've already sent her email.
Thank you. And where would that shoot be? Down at the station? Or down
What
the-
it looks like, because I went back and looked at some of their others, what it looks like is it'll be snippets of different things. So it might be a downtown shot, it might be a shot from the train station. I've got some video footage from last year's Railroad Days, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to utilize some of those pictures and photographs to kind of intertwine with the town and the train depot shots. So that's kind of what we're hoping for. It's gonna. I'm just gonna kind of turn it over what I've got to them and let them put it together. And they've got several hours of editing that
Are included. Yeah.
Great.
So and hopefully maybe with especially like handicap and stuff, so, and I think meal days, so I want to make sure that we, kind of
Yeah,
include everything.
yeah. I do have a question. Does the Visitors Bureau go out for railroad days? Like, are they active? Do they have people that go out for these festivals that take pictures and do that type of thing for their own?
I know they have in the past, I'm not sure what their schedule, Eric's here with us today. I'm not sure if that's on the schedule or whatnot, but I know that they've done some in the past, I don't, were they here last year?
Typically, no,
Okay,
unless you ask special,
Okay.
do they have to hire a photographer?
I know
We
that
have
there was,
someone on staff now that does do photos
Okay.
and is attending many and most significant events.
I remember somebody talking about something.
We
for
have
taking
hired
pictures.
freelance photographers to go out and cover events.
Mhm.
And
Mhm. I would definitely think that would be.
We need that.
You know what I mean? For the amount of money that you pay
railroad
for
day,
the Visitors Bureau.
I would think.
Okay.
Will you follow up on that? Just because if not, we probably should get somebody out of our
Yeah,
budget.
yeah.
Because we need all this footage this year to really blow up next year.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's a good
I think that's why I think it's a great part of having WRAL for this year is that it gets so many eyes on it a year ahead. So that people are, and then what do we have for? I might be early on this for marketing materials for this railroad day is to advertise for our next big one for next year.
Hold off till the last.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Sorry.
Went a little too fast there.
But so as far as WRAL goes
Yes.
for this year, does that make?
Oh, it's
we're-
wonderful.
Yeah.
We're gonna dive in with
Very
that.
grateful.
Her name's Sarah. She's been great working. So the other one's Heather. So
Heather.
yeah, so we'll tie in with it.
Great.
So the next page is just a snip of the budget expenses versus well, I put this in. We do have several in-kind donations that have come in, so we are grateful for those. That takes stock of our expense line. The annual event sponsorships this year have been wonderful. So those are in that second group of slots there that ends with Bailey Feed Mill because they just came in yesterday. So that amount has been great for annual event sponsorships for the first year, and I'm going to do my best to make sure that we are able to continue even after railroad days, keeping those big folks in the front of things. And let's see. So that just gives you an idea. Now you'll see at the bottom, the Carnival Reserve, that is reserve amount. That is not the final amount. It's whatever is not brought in under that. So if the full amount of that is brought in, then that expense goes away. Does that make sense? Any questions about this? This is everything. This is sound, entertainment. This is figuring in costs for shirts, for marketing, all that good stuff.
I think that's good.
And you can take it and look at it. If you got some questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Okay.
The next one is our Meridian quote. They have offered an in-kind sponsorship of $5,000, which is what they did last year. I am going to talk to them a little bit about this because the final amount is quite a bit more than what we paid last year. So I want to make sure that that's correct. But right now we've got the 88 toilets, 8 hand wash, 15 regular, which those seem high compared to our numbers from last year. So I need to pull the actual invoice. From
Count
last year.
or cost?
Count.
Okay.
Both.
Both?
because,
Okay.
Yeah. I feel certain we had that 3-stall restaurant trailer which everybody loved, and we want to try to keep that close to the main stage because that is where your performers will use as well. So keep that in mind when we get to the map to talk about restaurant locations. But that is great, especially for our entertainment that, have to change and, it's an air conditioned,
Yeah,
trailer
yeah.
that they can go into, so,
How much of an increase is it from last year's versus this quote?
about $2,000
Wow.
on our part. So that's why I've got to figure out what the difference is for that. But I feel certain it's the number of actual portable units. I just need to compare that, so, but we greatly appreciate their in-kind donation.
This does seem like a lot of restrooms compared to last year.
I wanna say, which we did add one for the Selma Psychopath ride at the Baptist Church. I know that's only gonna be utilized that morning, but, it's important for us to have one there. for
Agreed,
them.
yeah.
And then we have, and I think they may be figuring in the 5K, the My Kids Club run
okay.
in this as well.
Okay.
Which makes sense, since that's part of that. So we have 2 units coming for that because they had over 200 people registered last year, so. We only had one, and
Yeah.
we didn't realize it was that big, so we're gonna, get another one out there.
Does this include, the car show?
Car show.
Okay.
Yeah. Which
That kind of makes sense then, I feel like.
So
Yeah.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 outside. We did do one for the parade lineup as well, because we've got a lot of kids that are waiting for the
I
parade.
feel like you can't have enough bathrooms. And I know the merchants downtown appreciate having plenty of public bathrooms,
Yeah.
so.
Well, and it's in kind, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, the bottom line does when
Yeah.
it comes to budget wise, but
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, that's 5 out of the 15, no, out of the 12, so that probably does make sense for that number.
yeah.
But we just probably need to revisit the
Mhm.
regular, the standard ones and see if that number is, a little too high or
Yeah.
whatnot. So I'll look back at that and I'll consider in the 5 additional, to make sure that that is covered in those.
Yeah.
I believe that's what he, probably did with those. So any questions on that? The next one, I should make one adjustment since I'm printing this for you guys. This is the rack card, image. We printed those last year, to put out in the businesses, put at the training depot. We're sending those to some of the welcome centers, just to kind of get some of that out there. I put a navy blue line across the top to make that top stand out a little bit more. So that's really on the back. That's really the only difference. Does anybody else is good with?
No, it looks great.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Like I said, it's the rack card, so it's the 3x8.
You missed your calling.
Oh.
Digital design. This is really good.
It's my relaxation part.
It is.
The next one, I know it looks a lot like the front one, but it does include the schedule.
Yep, at the top.
This
Looks
is our
good.
J Now ad that we got in the September issue for the magazine. And I probably still have a chance to make a change to this, if anybody needs to suggest anything. I think she's putting it in today.
Looks really, really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next 2, they are our 2023 digital billboards. I've spoken with Jennifer at the Visitors Bureau, and I sent some brainstorming ideas to her, and she sent back that the best thing would probably be to look over the 2023. I did mention maybe include our dates because I thought the committee had said that we wanted to advertise one of our slots for the My Kids Club registration. But since that doesn't technically cause an overnight stay, they're kind of like, well, we thought that we didn't want to use those like that at the car show. So, I'm just gonna put that in front of committee. I know that it's on the back side of that board in Princeton. I don't know if it's on the front side of the one in Wilson's Mills or the one in Princeton. I have not seen it on the front side of the Princeton one. So if we want to run that, the committee says, well, we want to support that and put that on there, then I will share that with tourism. So, and then the others, however we want to go about it, I suggested one main railroad day start now, or shortly after now, to just have the dates downtown Selma.
Agreed. Yep.
And I'm thinking we kind of just follow, but I'll take committee's direction, the color scheme of kind of the images that we've got in the packet, to kind of make it a little different from last year. Of course, the images would be different for the entertainment. you know, we don't wanna make it too busy, but at the same time, we wanna make it eye-catchy and, so people will look at it. Do you guys have any suggestions or recommendations as far as how we break it down? And if not, are you good with us just kind of proceeding with maybe something similar to a breakdown, but we change it up to kind of match our image, you know, the poster image and stuff?
Yeah, I think as long as it's bright and it's attention grabbing. I do just want to make one comment. So I don't know if anyway, and I know that these are our digital. I just want to make sure that everybody understands. I get that this is our digital and it's on a slower, people are driving slower on these roads than they are on 95. But has anybody noticed the new billboard on 95 coming south from Wilson? Smithfield just had their billboards redone.
Visit
And
Smithfield. it
yes,
says.
shop and dine downtown.
There's two of them.
Yes, there's one coming,
Yeah.
same exact one coming, I saw it coming north,
Yeah.
and then there's one going south. And I've always been really interested in what is the draw for these pictures. Because when you are driving and you can barely make out a picture, but you can read words. Like the words, if they're big and you're not having an entire paragraph, I can read that faster than I can decipher what is that human doing in that picture. And that billboard on 95, I feel like is a great example of a picture that was put up that is, I see, and this is my personal opinion, I see it serves zero purpose because you can barely see it as a person with a white shirt on a white background handing a bag over. Like that doesn't make, I know it doesn't make me want to stop and go someplace because there's a person with a white shirt and a white background. Like you can barely see that. So my question is, how effective are pictures versus word? In the sense of like this bottom one. So if we're looking at this railroad days,
Yeah, I'm gonna let
Yeah,
Eric figure it out.
I want to hear it.
This is me, as the person who created this.
Mhm.
So there's a level of usually, that is coming from the stakeholders. They want a photo.
mm-hmm.
I tend to agree. Pictures are rarely super effective.
Mm-hmm.
So generally, they're coming from the stakeholders who want pictures on,
Okay.
not from any research.
Yeah, yeah.
Or any part of, we're generally not driving that.
Yeah,
Now, there are exceptions,
of course.
a Nike shoe or something.
course,
that-
yeah,
but
yeah.
Generally, yeah, so I can't speak for everyone.
Yeah.
But generally, they're coming from the people that say, we want to see a photograph of our stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Not that personal vendor or anything, but,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
so, yeah, if it were left up to me, there would rarely be a photograph.
Okay. I think that's good information.
Yeah.
And I
just-
agree.
Now, I
with
can't
all
speak for-
that.
I can't speak for all of you.
No, of course. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Driving down the road, but
Yeah.
they're very hard to discern.
Exactly. And I think to what you said, like it's not a Nike shoe. Everyone knows a Nike shoe, but not everyone knows what downtown Selma looks like. So it's not very fruitful in my opinion. Like we have this little tiny picture. What does that show? What is making someone want to come to railroad dates based off of that picture of people in a downtown street? There's people in downtown streets everywhere in the world.
I think we pulled that picture.
Okay.
I don't think.
All right. Well, it was just an example. I mean, but yeah.
Well, and I also think I'd like to see us mix it up. You've got entertainment a lot. Let's maybe do how many food trucks, just other things that, you know, want to bring people down. Maybe say something about the parade. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
think outside the box. I mean, entertainment's great, but I would like to have some other,
Do we have something
Draw.
that shows like actual trains? That there's like a train show? That
Well,
there's-
that is one of we used in the,
Mm.
that magazine.
Yep, yep. yep.
So we can utilize that. I do think that bringing something, so we can even change this up this year, and use something like that train logo, just to have a train, you know, like something train to kind
Yeah.
of catch your eye. But I do think that making sure that the name of the event, the date, and the website, how to find out more information.
100%.
That's like
Agreed.
the,
Yep.
the three main.
Agreed.
constant.
Yep.
Yes, I agree.
And of course, I mean, we've got the exit, the downtown Selma, you know, up
Yep.
there, but, I do think as far as festival wise and event wise, those three things
Yep.
drive people to find out more.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
So we can, I think the pictures, honestly, if it were me, I think the pictures are just an eye thing, like when I look at them, I see the picture, but my eyes go to the words. I
Yeah.
wanna see what it says,
Yeah.
so, but, you know, that's up to you guys, if you want to kind of kind of make it, I guess, color wise into the same color scheme, as the poster, and then we can pop a picture up of the Legacy Motown Reunion, Love Tribe, and maybe the I-42 band, like, use those three or something, they're our final folks each day, and maybe a model train focused,
Yeah.
board with the overall railroad days one, that kind of thing. I mean, that's up to you guys. If you're good with this kind of, that initial idea, I'll share that information with Jennifer. And what she'll probably do is put some ideas together, and then I can email them out
Yeah.
separately to you guys.
Yeah.
Just let me know what you think.
Because that top one on that second page, that one I think is really effective. It's like just straight to
Yeah,
the point.
says
It says
everything.
exactly what it
Yep.
is. I mean, because it's like the same thing, and I understand we have all these performers, and you know, I guess you have like your responsibility to advertise as well. So I guess I can understand like putting a picture of a performer, but then at the same time, it's not like you have Mary J. Blige or something, and people are like, oh, I know that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not
Yeah.
really. But that's just
Well,
my
Well, next year, we're going for Mary J.
right. I'd be here for it. Yes.
I'll
I
put
would.
that time on the second page.
Yeah.
To do our general one with Jennifer, because I want to get that one, so we can get that at least.
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
want it
that's
rolled
good.
Earlier
Yeah.
than.
To save the
Yeah.
date or whatever you're gonna do, or save the weekend, or
Yeah.
whatever you wanna do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I think that's awesome.
Okay, we'll just look for that in an email coming. next
Okay.
week. She can get those over.
Cool.
And then next are the shirts. Shirt images. So I just kind of adjusted them just a little bit to include all the sponsors. The ones on the arms are our larger railroad bank sponsors and our annual event sponsors. And the like I said, the folks that will do the shirts, they'll send us the final image. But
I think they look great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like,
Yeah.
does anybody have, and I don't know that we do, and this is kind of, last year we ordered 225 sponsor shirts. I think that number's too big for sponsor shirts. We actually also did general railroad day shirts that did not have a date. They're like the evergreen shirts that
Yep.
can be used at any time. So we still have some of those
Mm-hmm.
to provide, but I think we can do this one of two ways. We can go in and get the images, and we can put a pre-order out there to see if that's something. They can do a pickup at town hall, they can do a pickup at the event, however we want to do it. Or we can maybe narrow it down to 2 colors, just so that there's not so many, because you gotta think about colors and you gotta think about sizes. And, you know, I think
Keeping
that-
every color and every size is expensive. I agree.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shirts are
a
out.
ton left over with the year on it, because we wanna make sure.
Of course, yeah,
next year.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I figured on 150, total for right now in the budget. And they're about $950 a shirt, so I just put in $1,500 for that. So that's kind of a thought.
I do think having a pre-order though, or a pre-sale, I think that's spot on. Cause like I know I would like to order, like I know people from our shop. So if people could order that ahead of time, I think that would give us a better baseline of how many we actually need to order over the people in our town that are just gonna
Maybe
buy.
even an interest in the
Yes,
colors,
yeah.
As well, so, that's something that we can start as of September 1st. if we
You know,
want.
That would be
we kinda-
cute to put out on Facebook, to let people
I
pick
was
the
just gonna
color.
say, can we put a poll? Can we do like a thing on our
Mailchimp,
town
Survey
page?
Monkey or whatever.
Like a like, love, or
Yeah.
whatever, or they have to put, or whatever it is. And I think I
Get
think
people
it'd be good for
excited.
community engagement.
Yeah.
And then as,
Yeah.
when you're in that, say, and we're offering pre-orders as well.
Yes, I think that's an awesome idea. Yeah.
So we could do the poll between now and maybe September 1st.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get creative though, because you can't do polls anymore on Facebook. You can only do them in closed
survey,
groups.
like she mentioned,
Yeah.
the survey.
Oh, yeah, like through an actual, yeah. I like that. I think it's gonna be good.
So let me see what I can work up, because I'd like to make sure it's the final image.
Yeah.
Of the shirt, so that we can make sure we're putting that out there. Let me see what I can come up with.
Okay.
On that. Do you guys have a preference, like if you had to go through and pick your color, your favorite color?
It would not be white.
See, that would
I
be,
would
what-
get
I would
rid
be
of-
white.
I get rid of the powder blue
Yeah,
and
I like the teal.
I like the teal.
Teal's cool.
I like the teal and purple.
Well, let the
I'd
people
re-
speak. It's not
Yeah.
our, we're not
I
speaking for
really
it.
like black
I know.
or gray.
Too late, Susan. That's
Right.
the tail.
Do we wanna include a black or gray?
I mean, I'm just saying. My whole wardrobe is black. No,
Yeah.
there's a lot of us that are the same way.
Step out of the comfort zone.
Exactly.
Step out.
So much easier.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like either black or gray, it's a good unisex shirt.
So is there?
Well,
a
you really
color
couldn't
that
do black or
get
gray.
rid of?
If you look at the
How it
logo,
is?
it'll
And
wash
then
it all
add the
out.
Black or gray.
Powder blue.
The blue, the
I
light
think.
So if you
That's
did black or
fine, though.
gray, the whole logo would have to change because the logo's black and gray.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
All right, let the
Blue?
people speak.
Get rid of? Yeah, I'd say
Put the poll
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That one in black, or just the light blue and maybe add in a black or gray.
Are you gonna be able to do black or gray though with a logo?
I don't think so.
Let me try it on a couple different grays.
I
and
like
see.
it.
Okay.
I don't know that gray's gonna look good with it because of the,
Yeah.
possibly the black.
I feel like black would pop because the only thing that's really black is that signature.
I'll replace the option of the light blue with the black.
Figure it
Yep, she will.
Should figure it out.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I don't really know if I printed this next one for you, but, you guys saw this already too, but the schedule of events for that is also in our newsletter, the quarterly, it will be mailed out either Friday afternoon or Monday morning. To all 27, I don't know, 100 resident locations.
Did the Train Collectors Association sponsor?
No, but those are the ones that are going to, be set up in the Civic Center at the depot.
So pretty much in kind kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, they come in, they bring their own staff.
Well, maybe you should put that on the in kind. Just to keep them happy.
They work with the town board in the past.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's kind of how they do it. They've already got it on their websites and
Mhm.
stuff, so we're gonna try to get that shared. As well as go there, their information there. The next one is just a breakdown of the main stage and the community stage. Miss Rosa, I need to confirm with you about the group,
My group or the other group?
your group.
One performance.
Okay, do you need longer than 15 minutes, or do you?
No, I don't need 15 minutes.
Okay, all right,
3 or 4 at the most is one song.
okay, so it's just one song,
Just one.
okay, all right.
So the longest the song, it's
So
about
15-minute slot would probably be the shortest that we do, just so that if the first one ran over just a little bit, it kind of gives you a buffer in between so that we can get back on schedule.
Oh, so you said 15 minutes per performer?
At least 15. Not saying that you have to fill a 15-minute slot, but we're trying to give a little bit of a buffer in between so that
Okay.
if they run over, then.
Well, there's another dance group, Sassy Feet.
Yeah, they're on there too.
Yeah, so do they have a 15-minute slot?
They have a 15-minute slot.
Oh, wow, they're gonna dance a long time.
Oh, theirs looks like it's 45 minutes.
Oh, I did do that, didn't I? Look.
They're sassy. Their
I
feet
was
are gonna be
wondering
moving.
how I ended up with.
Tired feet, girl.
I'll adjust that and,
So you still need help getting community stage,
I
is
do,
what I'm
I
saying.
need a
Okay.
few more, if
Then
possible.
I'll try to reach out and see if I can
I'd
help.
like to have at least 2 more 30-minute slots. Or maybe 30-minute and 2 15, something like that.
Oh, yeah,
We
Sassy
do
Feet,
have one
15 is
group
45
that she
minutes.
actually just emailed me back this morning and said that she is trying to see if she has an employee that can come with the girls, because they have a workshop. They're a normal group that comes to perform.
Is this something that we've put on any of our social media
In the past, yes.
recently?
No. Oh, as far as community stage
Yeah.
performance?
Yeah.
We did.
Reaching out, because I'd like to share that if you did.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we did, but I'll go back and look
Okay.
and see. But yeah, that would be the only, I would say, as far as entertainment, on that Saturday, maybe a few more.
Can you look, can we look at what's the festival, Ham and Yam?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a community stage, and can we try to tap into some of the same?
They do, I don't know if they've always had one, but they did have a separate stage this year.
Okay. Just, a lot of people like to, go to all festivals, maybe find some of the people that do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the dance group. The groups, Baker School of Dance and then Sassy Feet, and then you do have Sassy Feet right here, 45 minutes. So if they're not gonna use the 45 minutes, possibly we can go in behind them, take in a few of their minutes.
We probably could do that to move you in there.
Cause, see, this Saturday. Okay, all right, I see where you got me. Leave me there, leave me
Okay.
where we are. Leave me where we are.
Okay.
Anybody have any ideas of what we want on the stage so that I can go look?
So last year, the Johnson County Community Choir has been moved to Sunday this year. They bring a large crowd of folks.
Great.
So what I would suggest is to have a group, like when we're considering groups that maybe are families that are coming, maybe have kids, or maybe it's a large group, that kind of thing, so that we bring a crowd of folks to each performance that can go and enjoy the festival or go and
So-
enjoy the downtown.
Children's dance groups would be,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Or
just,
if you have another, like,
can you email me a letter of interest about the community stage, and then I can help you and reach out to some places?
There's a big dance school in Smithfield.
Oh, yeah, big.
on-
Then there's a
on
huge one in
301.
Clayton too.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're coming. They're on.
Oh, I didn't know what that was, okay.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Thanks.
okay.
But I'll just try to think of some things. What is Downtown Nutrition doing? Just curious.
They do a performance on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's even better.
And our dance group is Steps of Inspiration.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Okay,
It's Steps of Inspiration.
gotcha.
Yeah, leave it like it is.
Okay, all right.
I'm tired.
I'll adjust that and send a edited one.
Okay.
And then Sunday, we have the stage booked for 1 hour slots from 1 to 5. So I think that's a good, that for Sunday. We add anything else to that.
And one more thing with the dance group, since we have a 15-minute slot, we have a rehearsal today. So I get with the ladies and see, we probably do more dances than the one.
Okay, that's fine.
So we'll just leave that like it is for right now.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so the last part for this one is, the map. I wanted your input as far as restrooms and the restroom trailer. Do you have any suggestions for, we try to spread them out throughout the layout of the festival so that they are available for everybody? Do you have any, I mean, I know you can see where they're kind of placed right now as far as the 4 locations. The Civic Center has their own restrooms, and the Depot has their own restrooms.
I feel like we need something that's by East Anderson and North Webb on that side, because I feel like there's so many people that cut down from the Civic Center that would go down North Webb.
Okay. So maybe split a couple of the standards out.
Yeah. My opinion. I don't know how you guys feel.
These are,
Bathrooms. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm just thinking like they come from the Civic Center, so there's not, I mean, the amount of people that would go up here, they'd be covered, but there's nothing for the people that can go down this side.
you're absolutely right.
So basically, and we'll break up, the hand washing stations usually go with the food trucks and the carnival. That's kind of where the
Yep.
But we'll have restrooms at Carnival, restrooms at the food truck area, like I said, the corner of North Bedford and East Anderson there. That kind of picks up some of your vendor traffic. And then I'm thinking of the trailer down at the main stage area.
Yeah.
In that, so that it's accessible for everybody to use, but it's also accessible for them. Does that, I mean,
Yeah, that's where I would put it.
Yeah. I agree.
unless we put it on South Raker.
Yeah, because then I feel like it's like
Taking
in the
over
middle of
vendor,
your,
yeah.
like your flow. Yeah, I think off to the side is probably.
Just as long as we have, some signage.
Yeah, yeah. We have those
This
nice,
Yeah,
What are
perfect.
they?
Yeah, that's great.
those flapper things that I saw. Yeah.
Feather flags.
Yeah, there you go, there you go. Those are
I don't
slick now,
know
yep.
everything. Yes, you know that. Okay, so that, okay, so are we good with?
Yep,
that?
yep.
Also putting it on that corner at East Anderson and North Webb will help with the parade traffic,
Yes.
so that'd probably be good. The carnival is, in front of the new town hall. On that spot, so that it's not, because that's a little bit more open, you don't have buildings on both sides, the main stage is going to Quantum. Yeah, main stage is going down at Quantum.
Oh, I'll be rocking then. For 3 days.
I'm gonna
I'll be
have a
rocking
headache for
hard.
3 days with the carnival.
What day is that?
God bless you.
All these kids.
We thought around
Like,
Trying to
I-
give it
Yeah,
a different,
literally.
you know,
Usually it's
so it'll carry.
Yeah, it's usually Saturday at 10:30.
And it breaks the stages, the stages are gonna go down to the front of the fire department, so that will keep people flowing from the main stage to the food trucks to the carnival. Yeah, so we tried to flop it around a little bit to see how that works. Yes, sir.
the parade you have listed on here.
Not yet. That's for, the next, you're talking about the last sheet, that's, okay, so, any questions about 2024 railroad dates? Yes.
This is just random. T-shirt said, have you
These are
ever
the
done
Visitor Bureau.
train engineer hat or swag?
Yes, we have the train, we have not customized them, but, we have custom train whistles that have Selma Railroad Days, and like engraved or laser engraved in those. We have the magnets for Selma Railroad Days, and they're like the 3D. And then we have the train hats, but they are not, they were not like custom, like importer, or is that
I'm
what
not
you're talking about?
surprised, I just have never seen them and I was. just
That'd be so
thinking
cute.
about it, engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, I mean, I hadn't thought about actually like customizing the train hats, or is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, everything is so infinitely swagable now
Yeah,
compared to the past. So I don't know, I was just, since I hadn't seen them,
right,
thought I'd
okay. I mean, I hadn't
you
thought-
got them, I'm not.
that's a thought to like kind of customize the hats.
I mean, not every festival has a name and a origin such that it means to merchandise like that. I mean, that's a pretty natural step. Engineer has pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Well, I think the committee needs them for sure.
Girl.
Okay, I'm gonna have you all ready.
Just saying.
Maybe if it's a baseball hat. I don't know about a conductor hat for me.
We're gonna get you out of your comfort zone.
I think the
Doesn't come in black. Doesn't come in black.
Right, it's just cute. I'd sport it.
I like that because I'm just thinking like if I'm wearing a hat, like this is just me. I know I'm weird, but if I'm wearing a hat, like I don't know if I'm gonna be rocking a Selma Railroad Days hat all year round. You know, like I mean, I might like us that are in Selma that have ties to Selma. I'd rock a Selma hat, but I don't know if I'd rock a Selma Railroad Days hat all the time.
Well, those fireworks shirts, people are still wearing them, so I'm like, I thought they would be one and done, you know, at the 4th of July, around the.
That
July,
one?
I'm like,
Yeah, I know. I never got one. Thanks. So jealous. Right.
still have some. And replacing another one, because we had a few people reach out, so if y'all want one,
They're so
we
good.
need to get the size for it.
Those are good. I mean, I feel like a shirt is different though than a hat.
Yeah.
Like a shirt, you can just wear, you know.
Well, that kind of leads us into our next one, so.
Okay.
But, anything, Eric, you good?
No,
That was a
I
good
agree
thought.
as far as it doesn't even have to be railroad day, Selma or whatever. I
Mhm.
mean, hat.
Yeah.
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 It's just a random thought.
Right.
Okay, so next year, we'll flip our brains here for a minute. Next year's 50th. It's been requested we go big, go big or go.
I'm here for it.
So, bigger, than ever. So, I've got a kind of a breakdown for you in front of you. I want your initial thoughts on what you see.
I'm here for Thursday, Thriller Thursday, baby. I'm here for that.
So basically, it breaks down 7 days of Selma Railroad Day month. To include entertainment, to theme the nights, because I think that will help, bring certain, you know, interest to each night. And we want to make sure that everybody is, you know, has a reason to come. I
Wait, we
guess.
having the carnival for a whole week?
We're working on
I'm
it.
exhausted already thinking about that. Where's the carnival going for
That's
25?
what we're working on. So that's what I'm putting in front of you guys today. I want your suggestions and input on an overall layout. My there has been discussion about extending it down to the train station somehow. That's why we're here. That's why we do it. So I'd like the committee's input on the location, and how we connect the two. So that's kind of what I'm putting in front of you, as well as this is very tentative schedule of what we've kind of brainstormed, put together. But that's what I'm bringing to you. I want your vision of what you think the 50th Railroad Days should look like.
Can I give 2 cents? Just
Yes.
looking at this right off the bat, this concerns me as a business owner in downtown.
Okay.
Anytime we have an event, my sales die immediately
Okay.
because there's no regular foot traffic that come in. So yes, and I just want to put that out there, and everybody can take what they want from this. But and now mind you, last year obviously I only had my shop and not a cafe, but there's so many people that come downtown, but it's not the buyer that I have, which 100% right. We take things that are great for our community and they might not be great for one of us, and that's life in general. But to have an entire week of that,
Is your concern because of the street closure?
yeah, 100%.
So what if I throw this out here to you? What if we promote reasons to come to Main Street during the whole week of Railroad Days, but we extend it to the depot so that we don't close the whole Rayford Street for
Yeah.
Railroad Days?
Yeah,
We, like Main Street Monday, you know, doing a promotional downtown, possibly utilizing our empty lot down here for the carnival space, because that is the biggest lot that we have. But running something up Railroad, to connect to the downtown. So there are options with that, but that would keep us from closing the entire Rayford Street.
I don't think Monday's the day for the businesses. They're all closed Monday.
But maybe it's a way to do something new for, you know.
Ask them.
If we can get everybody open, if we can encourage, maybe it's a discount, maybe it's a big sale, maybe it's a promotional thing that they don't normally carry. Something that we can get out there. The plan for this is to get this plan out as soon after 2024 as possible. So that would give enough time for these businesses to say, yes, we're on board. We're, we're gonna start thinking about what we're gonna do. But this is, like I said, these are just things we threw out there to kind of get your thoughts going. Tuesday to the rescue and make that public safety night, where we work with all of our local organizations, State Highway Patrol, the SWAT, the Sheriff's Department, all the EMS, all the fire. We try to get as many public safety, almost like, I know Smithville does like touch a truck, but
Yeah.
that's like all kinds of equipment and stuff, but more public safety related. To me, this is a big thing for families, to come out for work. So that gets them here doing some kind of entertainment that night as well. Entertainment we'd like to have throughout the whole week. The Wednesday night, we love to talk to our local churches and have, I know we named it Worship Wednesday. We can change that. Doesn't have to be that. But maybe they hold church here that Wednesday night. Like, this is enough time for us to get that on their radar. But we can have a group come in, or 2 groups come in that night, and actually, celebrate that in downtown, in a way that suits everybody. Thursday, Thriller Thursday, we have had several requests for the Michael Jackson guy to come back. So that's kind of where that thought came from. We also could run the train. That's why we put the train rides on Tuesday, Thursday. The train that we had for the Centennial, if you guys saw that, a lot of people like that.
That was
So
nice.
We could run that from the depot to the downtown area.
Will the carnival have their own food vendors that whole week, or can it back off on food trucks until weekend, so we'll have more than one restaurant?
That would be the plan, is to not bring in all the food vendors. We could do the normal Friday through Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday, with the food vendors. But the carnival, if we're putting it down at the empty lot, they would have their carnival foods, available, but then we'd still be able to have the downtown. I'd like to see all the downtown businesses like open and in action all week long for this. It's not many times that a festival does get to celebrate 50 years of anything. So that's why we're wanting to get it out there as soon as possible. I'm already working on the entertainment contacts so that we can have those, some big names for that too. So yes, Jeffrey, I think that's definitely on our radar for that. Fireworks like Christmas, the Christmas celebration. You know, the state fair does fireworks at the end of their nights, so I think that would be a cool thing for Friday and Saturday nights.
I would love that.
And Saturday, I know I've got railroad games, so this is another thing that I need to task the committee with. What can we do train related? I know that there have been, spike driving contests, you know, I was even going as far as thinking, you know, the soapbox derby thing, car races, but trains, like somehow, some way, how can we make, I know Scuba has their like river, is it the river?
Regatta.
That's so cute, yeah.
Yeah, I know we don't have a river, but, you know, are there things that we can do? I've reached out to our rail partners that we, created some, relationships regarding our centennial and that kind of thing, so I've reached out to them to see what they, how they want to be involved, because I'd love to see them here, for the 50th. So there's a lot of working parts right now that we're kind of reaching out for some input,
Maybe we could try to get one of those things that you pump. I mean, I'm sure if we did it with CSX and Amtrak, we could have some time where we could all get on it and go from the, you know, South Rayford to
Oh, I know what
the
you're
train, you know, like,
so yes, I would love for you to start brainstorming this because this is bigger than me. And I'll be honest with you, it might be bigger than us.
Oh,
because
nothing's bigger
this
than
is gonna
us.
take a lot of
we got this.
a lot of emphasis, a lot of time. So we want to make sure that we have, you know, the help that we need to. Do you have any issues with what you see so far?
Just what
I
I
just want to
shared.
brainstorm and then
Okay.
come back and
So the
address it.
layout,
The
is a
layout
big
would be
thing.
super important.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I can speak for a lot of businesses downtown. Any street closure really impacts us. So to be closed for a week, I mean, it would really hurt our business.
And that's the thought in maybe utilizing the empty space, at the train station. We also have to think that the train depot has to stay open from 10 to 5 every day. So that's a big thing. They gotta have parking for the passengers. That's another part that a lot of people might not think about, you know, as far as especially like weekend wise. We already do it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, you know, but a lot of your people do come in on like weekdays and leave the next week. So just keep that in mind too. Brainstorm on this because I know I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'd love to have some suggestions because some of the planning right now, I've got to make some decisions on, and I'd like to have some suggestions as soon as possible.
No, it's just the street closure though. So when you have a street closure, we have no traffic downtown. So then I know
There's no movement.
there's nothing. There's nothing.
So also
Yeah.
look at your local festivals that go on for several days, and kind of look at their locations and stuff, if you're familiar with any of them. Just to kind of get an idea so that we can benefit our businesses without, you know, with also increasing our foot traffic for an extended period of time.
So in regards to the beer and wine tent, you'd be taking, for instance, Hinnett, of course, maybe another winery, the Vault for beer, maybe Raleigh Brewing, Wilson Mills. So you'd have multiple.
Yeah. Just bring something additional, but keep it outside so that people can enjoy the entertainment at the same time. So that's and maybe we have a stage in a couple different locations. I'm saying one stage for this because I think that all hands on deck with 2 stages for a lengthy period of time like that might be too much.
Agreed.
But maybe we can intertwine our community performances throughout the week, so that brings them here, you know, each night or something. But yes, that's kind of the thought. Like I said, this is a brainstorming list right this second. There's a lot of things working on the back end, but I just kind of wanted to put it in front of you so that you could kind of go down, make your notes. Please send them to me as soon as possible. Like as far as your thoughts and suggestions about what's on here, because it's it's all can be changed. It's not, this is not set in stone yet.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right, so the only other three things, that are not in the packet for Railroad Days. We have had a handful of nonprofits reach out. We said last year that we were not going to have nonprofits come because, for one, people come to vendor shows, like they come to, see vendor, what they can shop, what they can purchase, trying to make it unique and a variety. We have had a few reach out to us about coming. Last year, we did run into an issue. They did not, a couple of the nonprofits did not like where their location was compared to the other vendors. So I'm gonna leave this up to you guys, about accepting a nonprofit to come out. I mean, basically, it's gonna be handing out information. What the committee had said last year was that if a nonprofit wanted to participate, that they sponsor, a portion, because that included a booth space at that point. I hate to put it, I know that might sound odd to say it that way, but, we wanna make sure that we're bringing in folks that,
What's our current vendor count?
we're at about 25.
Good.
I think that's pretty good. I mean, my 2 cents. I feel like when you go to these events, they are so watered down by political things and these pamphlets and these papers and all these other things. And it takes away from the event because it's just regular everyday thing. Sometimes we go to these events because it's a fun thing that's not part of our normal everyday. So when we go to these and it's jamming political things down your throat or religious or whatever it may be, it kind of takes the fun out of it. That's my opinion. How do you guys?
100% feel the
And I
same
know
way.
we've had issues in the
100%.
past, or complaints in the past about soliciting.
Yeah, it's no
That's why
fun.
we did do some rewording in our vendor contract to state no soliciting
Yeah.
beyond your assigned area.
Yeah.
But still, if we open, once that option is open, it's open. And so at what point do you cut it back? So this is a committee decision, of whether or not we accept any nonprofits. I will tell you, the Johnson Health Bus, they usually pay for a vendor spot to come and give flu shots.
That's different
That's,
though.
I mean, that's, but when it comes to, like,
It's a bad season for it. I just would say no to nonprofits. It could get really
there's
ugly.
It's
not a good time.
Election year.
Not a good time.
Yeah.
I want the committee's buy-in when it comes to either decision in regards to that.
I would say no.
I say no.
I do too. The health one is fine, but the religion and politics, no.
Well, and I think that the health is a service provided
Yes.
vendor, because they do bring the flu shots, so.
Susan?
Same.
My opinion, you got like the Lions Club, Boy Scouts, it's non-religion, like you just said.
Well, we did discuss possibly bringing in, and I'm waiting for some responses, but like, I would say kid zone area, but like the wildlife, the state trooper, the sheriff's department, those kinds of things that are
That'd be cute.
That's fine.
a service type.
Clayton's got, that park, they come and set up too. They're talking trees.
Oh, Clemens.
Yeah,
Something like that,
yeah. That'd be, things like that.
Benefit the community without making.
It has to be a real benefit for our community.
I agree.
Yeah, it has to be
Yeah.
a benefit.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
gonna have to help.
All right, so we'll say that information vendors, and I shouldn't even say nonprofits, I probably shouldn't even title that, but information vendors when it comes to, specifically designated organizations.
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll say family oriented, outside of religious, political, nonprofit, and other organizations. Is that
Sounds
what
good.
we?
Sounds
Okay.
good.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so that answers that. And third parties, we have had maybe 3 people reach out that are third-party vendors. It's like a Cincy, a Mary Kay, those kinds of things. We originally said no to those. If you are still no, then we will stick with our vendors that we are currently accepting.
I think 25 without the mail order things. I think that's awesome, and I think it goes to the same thing. It just dilutes your thing.
Yeah.
When you have really great quality vendors, people remember that, and then they're gonna come year after year
Right.
because they trust you that you're not gonna have these other things that are just so readily available everywhere.
Great.
Yeah, quality over quantity.
Okay, so the last, question, we have had maybe three, and I'd say they're unique vendors reach out. They are, but when you have a festival, and this has been in conversations with the ABC board as well, that I've had, festivals are to be open to multiple, when you have alcohol. And like at a festival, you have to open it to multiple vendors, in order to be able to have that open, to have that at a festival. Does that make sense? You can't just, monopolize it to a certain, like, wine vendor.
Yeah.
For it to be considered a festival, you have to be able, you have to open it to all. We have, Coco Bongos, they actually set up at Cape Fear Vineyard and Winery, yes, for their concerts. There's a wine and mead and wine, vendor, they set up at a lot of festivals, they've reached out, both of those have reached out, Pennett's has reached out, so they do follow the social district protocol, but when it comes to the festival, I spoke to the gentleman 3 weeks ago, and that was what he told me, when it comes to, an actual festival, it has to show that you have multiple, activities, like vendors, like carnival, different things. It has to have multiple portions to it to be considered a festival, and you have to open it to,
It can't be unlimited. There's no way that you could have, everybody wants to come, can just come.
well, I mean, but we have to at least show that we have opened it to,
Okay.
to multiple. That's what he told me.
Okay.
So, we've only had three reach out, but, I think that justifies it to say if we're allowing alcohol vendors to come in, then this is, kind of what, and they all seem to be very familiar with social district and have done them elsewhere.
I think it's a great thing to bring people down, because I remember 2 years ago when we had the beer garden, it just wasn't enough, and people were just talking about the need or the want for more options for adult beverages. And obviously, we didn't have the bars at that time. We had Alibaba, but we didn't have everybody else. But I do think that it gets people to come downtown or to come to your event more.
There is an option to allow them to come, but to serve like samples, like when it comes to like a winery or a brewery, to like serve samples, but then they sell their products whole. Like it's not.
But it's a take and go. They can't
Yeah, no,
enjoy on prem. Yeah.
People want to drink.
Yeah.
Coca Bongos is not a take and go. They are a they're like it's like a slushy type something. So
I think though that the sample is good because people get to sample things, they get to purchase things, but it doesn't hurt our people that
I
are
know,
here.
but there's too many people. There's not enough bars to, if you can only sample, you're gonna get angry because you can't get, I mean,
well,
I'm
I
just
know
being
like
honest.
Swansboro, the Mullet Festival.
I've got a
like,
lot of experience with
They only do
alcohol
samples there.
festivals.
Yeah.
But I will say, I mean, we do need to reach out to Raleigh Brewing. All our Johnston County breweries need to be invited. I mean, I would say, I would try to keep it limited to,
Deep
Our le-
River,
our-
Raleigh Brewing.
and Joco Brewing.
Yep.
Oh, and the Vault, sorry.
Okay, well, what I can do, if you guys are not against welcoming these vendors, then I can reach out to a few of our other locals that have not reached out and see about, at least inviting them to see, if they would be interested in coming. Does that sound?
I think it's pretty.
I'll reach out to Raleigh Brewing. They're my friends.
So are you still talking about tasting, or could they get in touch so they can walk in the social district?
So they would have to follow our social district guidelines, and they are familiar, the ones that I have spoken to, they've reached out, they're familiar with those. So that would be that would be something, but they could also just bring samples and sell their product. Like they would have that opportunity. And I think one of the vendors that has reached out, that's what they do. They bring their samples and then they sell their stuff, so.
I saw that as Smith with a single.
So if this vendor is just gonna give samples, you can't get a cup of wine and walk around.
Right,
Okay.
from that vendor.
You can get a bottle and bring it home.
Right, exactly.
I think having
But
both options
to
is
me,
good.
if it's a vendor that's actually
Having it all.
Yeah.
selling them by the cup,
Mhm.
then, I mean, how do you guys feel about putting them with like the food truck vendors? So it's like all in together, or do you want to So our vendors are gonna be, in front of the old town, that block, that's where we're setting up those. Our sponsors are gonna be by the main stage, because we want to have a more prominent location. So we do have a little bit of an area to play with between those sponsor setups and the intersection, does that make sense? So we could put them there, so that it's still an offering to, the people that are maybe at the main stage area, or we can put them with the food trucks.
I would
feel
split it up. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like there's a benefit to both, because like if I get a drink and I'm at the food truck area, and then I'm like going to vendors, shops and all that other stuff, like it's kind of a bummer to walk all the way back. Like if I'm, you know what I mean? Like obviously they're probably gonna be walking back and forth throughout the day, but if they're trying to make their way downtown, it'd be
Well, I
nice if
think if
there's
we put
another.
one, we're gonna have to put all, because then I think you're gonna have people that if they benefit at one location, but they feel like the others benefited more.
don't worry about them.
Then-
That's not your fault. That is not your problem whatsoever.
Oh, it is when it comes to.
Well, then,
fiscal
but you know what I'm saying? You can't, I wouldn't worry about
So
that.
what if we say we hold up till we find out how many? And then
Yeah, I
we
think that's
cross
important.
reference.
And then-
And what their offering is, whether they're offering a sample, they're offering a sample and selling the products, they go with the vendors,
Okay.
to me.
Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense, yeah.
So let's see how many would actually be selling the product.
Well, I know from
during this.
being in a brewery owner, they're all gonna wanna sell pints. Nobody's gonna come out here and do samples. It's a beer anyway. I don't know why, but they wanna come and sell pints. That's where their money is and that's what they wanna do. But they might wanna sell their product, their, cans and their bottles to go as well.
I guess my concern would be is that if we start having everybody down there, that now it's becoming like a mini beer garden, and now it's kind of, I feel like food and beer go complementary together, so
Yeah.
we'd have more sales together than further down.
And we want to keep people going back and forth. That is the thought behind it.
Yeah,
So all they're gonna have is a 10 by 10 tent, right? They're gonna pop it up, they do their own thing, they bring all their own thing. So you could put one of those in Rayford Street, down near South Rayford, down near the main street, just to break it up a little bit if you wanted to.
I think once we find out how many, that might help us in breaking it up.
do we have enough room on Waddell for all of this to be offered?
Maybe.
Okay,
We're the electric, we're adding more outlets so that we can extend it out a little bit further.
okay,
So, that will tell us a lot.
okay.
Well, the alcohol vendors don't need any electric,
If they're doing slushies and stuff, they do.
oh, well, that's fancy.
Yeah, or lighting, I mean, if you're especially, are we talking about for this year, or is this for 25?
This is for this year.
Okay. And we're not going this late, right? What you have on here for 25, that's not for this year.
No,
Okay,
that's for 25.
okay.
Okay, I think that tells me what I need to do for that. So, okay. I'm done with railroad things.
Yay.
No, not really, not yet. And what's our next thing? Because, okay, marketing discussion. I know that Mr. Eric has joined us to give us a heads up, for an update on the Google ads. Are you guys okay with one? And Casey, I don't know if he needs to leave, but can we let him go first?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
Are you good with giving us?
No one told me to give an update on Google Ads.
That was because you guys have a new platform, right?
You have local IQ.
Yeah, and I was asking for an update on that so that we could,
That did not get to me, so sorry.
okay,
This was kind of a impromptu thing.
right, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I've been kind of asking about the update on the local IQ because, we want to make sure that our Google ads have started back. I know for a little while there, they were stopped. But we had instructed to get those going again. So we wanted to I wanted an update on the local IQ because I wanted to see how it works and what you guys needed from us, if anything, to see what we were promoting when it comes to that. So if that's something that maybe, I don't know, if we could have maybe a general summary sent over or something, I can
Yeah.
share it with the group.
I'll definitely share that.
And then the social media boosts and stuff like that. So is that, did they tell you to come with anything specifically, or did they just tell you to come to the meeting?
They said go to the meeting.
Okay.
And then it got moved,
Okay, all right.
and then there was a little bit of chaos.
Well, we,
Structuring in it.
look, I'm gonna tell you, the move of the meeting caused a lot of issues on my end too, so I'm sorry about that.
No,
but-
and I don't have an agenda, so I didn't even know
Well, it was under marketing discussion, so
Okay.
it was a general, so.
I don't have any reason to believe that the running. Take that back and shoot you.
And we want to, whatever you need from us or what us, for the Facebook boost, because we want the railroad days to be definitely, have those, so. Do you have anything else for us then?
Well, she did bring, or wanted me to bring, this is the map that Benson did. It's 11 by 17, they had it padded, and she just wanted to share this, just in case you guys thought it might be helpful, something similar.
Okay.
What they did in Benson is they printed ads and coupons on the back, and they distributed it on vendors. It's a tear-off counter mat, whether it keeps it cheap on the counter or below, but, and because I think there was some discussion on the mat.
Yep.
And various types. So
Yeah, and this is exactly what, I've started.
That's
as
not the
far as-
finished
Yeah,
one.
paper map's a good idea, because you don't spend so much investment when new businesses come in
But
and
we
you
were able to build this
Yes,
out of
print new-
our web CMS.
She created one that was.
Okay.
It was amazing.
I love that.
Well,
Yeah, and it was never duplicated again.
Yeah, so if
Well,
I were
we're
to
gonna
send
do
you
it.
what I've already got,
Oh,
then that
the-
might be something as far as like the information and location. I mean, is that,
Yeah,
is that something?
But it's just.
And you said this is
It's
a tear off
us.
map?
You know what I mean?
Like a-
Well, they actually.
We'll get the town to help.
It's a padded mat, so I don't
We'll get the
know
town to do the
50 or
tour.
100
They
per
wanted
pad.
their own thing. They don't
Do you know
want
how
this
much they
small.
run? Like
I do not know the
the,
cost.
They're doing a larger one.
We didn't,
I
we
like
didn't get the brochure. So here's the layout.
okay,
And
okay.
then
I'll let you guys talk, but this would actually be ideal, I think, for, the event to have.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look. But he said it's like a padded map, so it's like a tear off, like a big notepad.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah,
perfect.
Okay.
Those are great. I was wondering why
Yeah.
a padded mat, well, that is what we need right there, because it's not expensive to produce. And then when the new business comes in, which they keep popping up every day, then we just, I mean, when you do the permanent ones, they're
Yeah.
expensive.
And that actually, that will be cheaper. I mean, I was working on a little bit of a smaller printout, but I like the size of that, and if it can be printed like that.
Isn't that great?
That's stuff that's cheap enough that if it's thrown away.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
really good.
Good.
So what
Yeah,
I'll
the
do with
QR
that,
code.
I'll send you the listing, the business listing that I've put together. We've got,
Yeah, that's great.
there's no way to keep it. We'll just, how easy is it to update?
Well, all mat projects are a little bit laborious. They're just not totally pipeline, they're plug and play. Like I said, we have a mat program, mat feature. We produce base mat, but then it needs that.
Is that what you sent me, the Selma map? Is that where that came from?
No, I think the Selma, I don't remember what I said. The Selma map might have been something that we just built from hand for the brochure. This comes out of a website and then modified aesthetically for print. So some of the base work is pretty much done. Program plots the points. And then
I do like that. That's essentially what I had started on our end as far as the numbers, because there's no way to put the names of everything, you know?
Oh, I love
But
it.
then add that directory.
Things to do, that was just, it was simple and
And it really depends on how they fall geographically and how big. I mean, if you have stuff that's really spread out, it makes it really hard to expand or
But we don't-
explode it.
I like doing like a historic downtown, because then that brochure, which I've got significant amount of information to share with him on that too, but, the brochure would be a wider, you know, area. So I'll send you what I got. What would the turnaround on something like that be?
That's really hard to say. Just how extensive it is. I mean, there's not a whole lot of man hours in this, and we didn't do the production. I mean, we got that done, we sent it to them. They went to print company down in Madison, which produced packages. They had businesses that put advertisements in coupons, we had nothing to do with that part.
Okay.
So,
But if we wanted to do one, at least to have maybe at railroad days, to where people that were here could know where they're at and kind of see what was here, would that be?
I think that's likely.
Because we could do the schedule of events and stuff like that for that, if we wanted to, at least have, you know, a couple to be able to hand out at a info area or something.
You could also do a digital display of the map. Remember we talked about the,
Yeah.
And
You know.
put information on that for the 50th event coming up.
I think we announced the dates.
Or at least say planning, look
Yeah.
forward to come to our 50th celebration.
Yeah,
all week long celebration or something.
And hope
Yeah,
to
our
see you next year
week-long
at the
celebration.
50th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Put it on your calendar, something like that.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's great. Um,
And, you know, this one's led by 17, maybe you could get away with the April, 8 by 14, I don't know. It depends on the points, the area.
I love that.
I love it.
Okay.
And I know business owners will probably really like that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give a update on Eastfield real quick because we had tasked that out to kind of have that discussion. I met with Missy, from Adventure to ask about, the Eastfield marketing. And they are, okay, so I understand a little bit more. The Eastfield development is different than like your Tanger outlets, of course, because it's not a one and done, like, these are box stores, I guess they call it, whatever, they want, that advertise on their own. The Tanger outlets is like an outlet that advertises as the Tanger, I'm just using that as an example. And so when it comes to the discussion of, how they're gonna market, it's kind of on their own
Yeah.
to market. But I did mention to her the interest in our committee in the town to have some kind of marketing there to direct them to the downtown area. So it's on their radar. They have not quite gotten to that point yet. But it's on their radar and they are having they've added it to their discussions as they're evolving the area out there. So I just want to give you a heads up that that is now on their radar to have the discussions to see what we can do.
What is the incentive for them to do this? Because it's a bit counterproductive, I guess, if you're looking at them from a property owner standpoint, they want to protect the interests of the people that are renting from them. So what is the interest for them to direct more of that same traffic downtown?
Well, especially with having Adventure here in downtown Selma, to me, that shows a partnership and a relationship with them.
Oh, they're all about Selma. His wife, yeah.
Absolutely. So I don't know that this is anything that's gonna be on the stores themselves. It would be something probably separate. And I mean, whether it's a digital like something, or maybe it's just an advertisement that's put out there. We had actually asked about smaller billboard type signage. So it would show a partnership to the area. And you know, from our understanding, that's not gonna be like your uniqueness or your bars or, you know, nightlife, you know, as far as that kind of goes. So to me, it's not promoting anything that they're gonna already have out there necessarily. But more so just a direction to say, hey, you're really close to. And I think it just depends on what details we put in the advertising, but I do think that they are very open to at least acknowledging historic downtown, very close. Their other development that they've done is not as close to
Yeah,
an
it's
area
like 20
like
minutes
this.
or something.
So there's not really something to compare it to, but I do know that this is something. And from what I understand, they have a lot more say so over the development of the area. The stores, of course, have to say so in the stores, but
Yeah.
And with them being as corporate and big as they are, that's kind of on them. But Academy's already shown a very good interest in partnering with the town. So I hope to see that increase as we go. So as far as the specifics, I can't really answer
Yeah.
exactly what they would advertise, but I do know that it wasn't on their radar yet because they hadn't really got to that point, but now it is, and I think it's opened up a little bit more discussion.
Okay.
For that. Okay, so that's Eastfield. I know that, I think I may have mentioned this to the group, as far as council kind of directing us to see how we can decrease the billboard costs. They are wanting tourism to present something to them. I know that there's been a few discussions in regards to that. I think Christina might have a few things she wants to share, so I'll let you handle whatever discussion.
So, are we discussing our downtown? Or are we,
I mean, I would say we discussed the 2 billboards on 95 because to me that's the concern more so.
Yep.
And how to decrease those. So whatever options and thoughts that the group has, I think we share them now so that we can at least get that.
I mean, I think, so there's a couple things. I know that when we spoke before about getting rid of one of the 95s, our concern is that we have the Visitors Bureau that is super quick to come and take this, which is a clear inclination that obviously it's something that all these other towns want, and that there's obviously value to it, even though
It's
our
hard to
town.
measure.
Yeah. So I know there was conversation about possibly having someone else take over that within our own downtown community or within Selma to be able to keep that billboard still directing people to downtown Selma. So whether that looks like it would be someone, a business owner or business owners approaching the town to take over that billboard, or however it would be structured out. I mean, are we gonna have I know that there was a conversation about the billboard possibly being leased out. Is that something that
If that's something that the committee decides that they think is a good option. Right now, both of the billboards have exit 97. Neither one of them have exit 98. So nothing on 95 directs anybody to turn on.
So if we could, essentially, the town keeps the billboard and they lease the billboard to a business or businesses, it's still within the town's, it's still on the town. So if at any time the businesses no longer want it, it's still there for the town, but the town is not paying for it. But the town could essentially lease it out to businesses. The town still has the Selma logo on it, so it would be at a reduced cost essentially for the business owners downtown, but it would still get people to come to exit 98, still gets us to keep our billboard, still reduces the cost for the town, which is what council wants. And it still obviously has that benefit to drive people downtown.
I do think the billboard cost per month would still stay the same, but I think one of the options might be for the town to pay for the replacement of the vinyl.
Okay.
And that would be the advantage of keeping the town's logo maybe on the billboard.
Which is good, because that's a savings between 600 and
Are you
800.
talking about the downtown businesses all pitching in to pay for the monthly, or?
Yes, I guess it would depend. So either we had a broad one that says like shop and dine downtown, with graphics and things that we decide upon, and then we could do it like that, or it's something that's offered on, I guess, we could put it into like how many people are interested, throw it into a hat, put it into a thing, and see who gets picked for this go around.
Maybe it's a year-long.
Yeah, a year-long commitment. I mean, obviously,
Those are all great ideas.
it's a good good amount of money every month. So I'm not sure that everyone would be interested in it. So the people that would be interested could go into.
It's like 735, 720, it's just around that.
700.
Yeah,
per
yeah.
month.
So I mean, I think it's a good opportunity or a good way for us to be able to keep the billboard and everything that we just discussed. I think it's mutually beneficial for everyone. The town gets what they want, downtown gets what we want, because we want to drive people downtown. It's not just driving people to Selma. We need more eyes and people to downtown. That is a
So
common.
your suggestion is to keep it a downtown billboard, to keep it an exit 98.
Yes.
Regardless of whether but have the town keep it.
Yeah.
But offer it to maybe a downtown, whatever downtown businesses are interested in
Yeah.
that opportunity.
Yep.
How would you go about advertising or, opening up that opportunity? If this is something that the council says, yes, we like this idea, they're probably going to ask you how you go about.
So if we have a ton of people that have interest, there's the benefit of just having something that's just downtown. So we put shopping in downtown and we could do quick words of what we have to offer downtown, which is, you know, we have, like Hatchet, we have bars, we have shopping, we have cafes. I think that it's something that we could do that would benefit everybody downtown, and it wouldn't just be one individual thing, but that would have to mean that there's more on the backside end of this too, because obviously one person, one business would be responsible for the financial payments to the town for this billboard. So then if it was going to be a group of people downtown, then there would have to be some sort of contract that one business owner would then go in with other people for downtown. It could get dicey because not everyone's going to want to put money forward, but then there's going to be the other people that say, well, you didn't put money forward, but you're getting benefit from this billboard. So then we would probably have to switch it over to there'd probably have to be some logos then for the people that do want to participate. We do something that says down shopping and dining in downtown Selma, and the people that want to participate get their logo on the board. And then those people would have a contractual obligation with whatever the business owner is that is taking it over in the town's eyes. I mean, that might be the
How
cleanest
about
cut way of,
Activate Selma taking it over in the town's eyes? And then the businesses deal with them since they're so pro, I mean, Jeffrey's not here anymore, but.
I mean, I know that I can't speak for Activate Selma. I know that there's been lots of conversation about what Activate Selma, if they would take on a billboard, and I know that has not happened.
Okay.
So that's all I know. I'm not speaking for Activate Selma. I'm just telling you what I've heard is that there's been lots of conversations of how Activate Selma could benefit just downtown. But I think Activate Selma, like I said, I'm not speaking for them, is not just about downtown. Their concern is all of Selma. So to do a downtown billboard might be counterproductive to what they're.
It is more like a sponsorship where business can sponsor the billboard and put their logo on it. So like it's a monthly smaller cost for each business to put their logo on the billboard, like a smaller logo, and you have a group of logos for different things. And instead of doing like a contract for like each business to have a whole contract, you can do like maybe a sponsorship contract. Maybe allow.
Well, then you'd have to have it revinyled, and the revinyling alone is
That's
600,
50.
about
Yeah.
6 to
Am
800.
I right when it was, it's about six, because we have had quoted 1,200 for 2 replacements of vinyls on 95, so.
I just got a quote for a billboard, and it was 600 for a vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's per square foot, so
Yeah.
depending on the size. of the
Yeah.
board,
So-
probably 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of the boards.
I like the idea of being able to benefit the folks that, put money in, because I understand that concept. My concern is if we've got 15 businesses and we've got 15 logos, that makes for a busy billboard when you're running. I'm not gonna say how fast we run them.
Yeah.
But that does make for a busy billboard. To me, I think that if you put something on a billboard that attracts somebody, I think they're all gonna benefit. The downtown's gonna benefit regardless because you've got traffic that comes downtown. So I don't know that, I just wouldn't make it too busy, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So I would kind of keep that in mind.
I mean, I'd like to think that there'd be 15 people that participate, but when it comes to money and people really putting money where their mouth is, I think that number's gonna really significantly dwindle in our community.
So is there a way, if the committee likes this idea for the town to keep the billboard, but to utilize a process to lease it out in some form or fashion, is there a way that, I mean, is the committee willing to maybe venture out to see? And I would say this probably needs to be done quickly to be able to have some information to present to council in September.
When is the September council meeting?
Fifth and the 10th. The 5th is the agenda review, and the 10th is the council.
Small amount. So we had, Kinley, we only have one.
Yeah, you had mentioned the closer one, the Kinley.
Yeah, the Kinley one.
Because I know that in talks with the Visitors Bureau, the billboards, when people are thinking about staying somewhere, they're thinking about an hour out, and the other one is about an hour. I think it may be a few minutes over.
Yeah, it's in Rocky Mount.
An hour.
Yeah.
But so that one could be, we could have one billboard that's exit 98, one billboard that's exit
which we
But right now,
definitely need 98.
We
Yeah.
definitely-
Because that's the cutest
We need
way to come into
98.
town.
Yeah.
It's the way to get
And
into
so
it.
the
It's
question
perfect.
is, do you guys want to keep the digital boards on 70? Do we like keeping those? I mean, in my perspective of that, we put a lot more on those throughout the year than we can a stationary billboard. So that's another committee discussion. You know, how do we decrease the billboard costs, but still keep the focus on, you know, Selma.
Are we, I think I've asked this before, are we able to get onto that billboard at the 301-70 intersection?
So, we usually do for railroad days, that one's a little
That one's
more,
pricey.
yeah, that one's a little more, you know, but you're also, to me, that one's a local board more so, cause you got your traffic that kind of bypasses that.
I see, yeah.
So, you know, if we keep the Highway 70 ones, which are in both directions, those are more local already. But I think 95, Eric, didn't we have a third billboard on 95, but it got taken down? It was coming from like the south.
I enjoy looking
think
at
that's a
the
good
ones
benefit.
at
And it was
the intersection there.
All the way down there.
I'm up and down that road like 5 times a day.
I think it was us, but I'm not.
We gotta table this to another, this is a big discussion. And we got
I
to,
think our
we gotta table it
cost
first.
was more for 95. Because I believe Ms. Donna told me that we lost one to construction.
And basically,
So
I'd like
right
to-
now, we've got
I'd like-
two coming from this direction.
I'd like to know what council's number is. What number do they want?
Yeah.
That's a valid question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had that discussion, we already.
Yeah,
So I don't know if the committee's
what-
aware of that.
What is the number that they want us to get to? Because then we need to actually brainstorm and decide what we think is beneficial. I mean, they can't just say reduce the cost.
There was no number given, but there was a direction of bringing the cost for that down.
But they did say get rid of one billboard, so if they're getting rid of one billboard.
Well, I
and
don't
someone
think
was
that there's an
paying-
option to decrease it without getting rid of one. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Well, we need to look at the whole
So-
marketing. Is this just billboard line?
Yes, this is.
Just billboard line
it's
item.
because of the conversation that happened at council, and because the budget was presented, and there was a member of the community that didn't like the amount of money that was being spent on billboards. This is where this.
Okay,
Well,
Well,
the money for the billboard, where's the money coming that is paying for the billboards?
It's the 2%,
Yeah.
the 2%.
It's
tourism.
from the
Hotel
tax that is collected
Yes.
on motel rooms.
Unfortunately, because Selma is the only town in our county that has this committee, we are now put in front of everyone, and everyone gets to see all of this information. And not to be rude or disrespectful, but not everyone understands where this money comes from, and not everyone understands that this money, that yes, it may not be spent, it may be $30,000 for billboards, but just because we reduce a billboard does not mean that that money goes now back into the town to be spent wherever.
That's what I
don't
think it's
that
education.
conversation was had, and I don't think it was probably had as effective as it could have been. So now we're left in a position where it needs to decrease, and that's kind of just where we're left. And it's not
agree
really
with
up
you.
for discussion anymore, from my understanding. It's really figure out a better way to use the funds. And if it's one billboard, I think a good assumption would be it's around 7,500. So we need to put 7,500, have a savings of 7,500 in some way. And being creative about it, I feel like would be a good solution, would be that we rent out the board.
So I will tell you that, and I don't know if you're aware of this, I think we may have mentioned this, but there are 2 southbound, those coming southbound. But where there is not one coming on from the northbound side.
Yep.
So we've got 2 over here.
But there is nothing available from my understanding either because
Yeah.
of the construction.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But I just want to make sure that you guys look at the bigger picture when you're trying to decide how to take it down. And the fact right now that, did she send you with a, updated, like, tourism as far as the funds, the monthly? Okay. And sometimes she brings those, so I didn't know.
Yeah. Like I said, she was planning on, we were coming together last week.
Okay.
And they got moved.
Okay. So right now, we have a lot of folks that are working on the Eastville development, the retreat, that one's finishing up from what I understand. The other construction that's going on, when you have extended stay and they stay for a certain amount of time, you lose that money that's coming in. So, you know, a lot of our local towns have more billboards than we do. And, you know, but it's like Christina said, ours is line by line because it is put
in front of
you know,
all these people, yeah.
So,
But
you know,
they understand that if we reduce this, we're not gonna, where do they think that money's going?
I think council wants it allotted to something else within marketing. It's not that we're
Well, can they
losing the
tell us what
money.
it is? Cause I think that would be a very important thing, like where you wanna pay to put this.
I think that's part of our,
I think that's what they're wanting.
yeah,
We
they
already,
want
we
this,
already spoke.
we haven't presented in front of council. Yeah, we need to present in front of council.
I would suggest that if you guys feel strongly one way or the other, that, that you share these concerns or thoughts with council. But I'd also suggest that we have the backing to take with us, whether it's another opportunity, we find out how many people are interested, how we're gonna do it, we already have it laid out. Like when you come to them, I would come to them with the solution as well. And with the understanding of their direction, but also saying, you know, this is what we wanna do. If you say, let's get rid of one billboard completely, but we wanna put it somewhere else, and this is our reasoning, then that's another thought as well, so.
Well, I'd like to know what do they want to do in marketing with the 7,500? Somebody has an idea. Because I'd like to know if we don't wanna, just sit around and, what are we gonna do with 7,500 in marketing? If somebody has an idea, they should bring it to us so that we could vet it.
Where else, if you're not, if you're taking away the billboard, what other ways riding down the road could people?
But marketing's not just riding down the road.
No,
So, hold on,
that's-
there was, if I remember correctly, there was a conversation at council when this was presented, when the citizen that presented the issue about the money, I believe it was Overby, am I correct? It was Overby that supported the billboard being removed, and they want the money to go into digital marketing in this, social media.
Okay, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, that is,
That's-
if I
that's
remember correctly, that's
Something
how
we
they
need
want
to
it.
know.
So, and I think this is where our, like Google Ads, and that's kind of where I want the update on the new platform that they're using. So that maybe there's a husband and a wife driving down the road, and the husband's seeing the billboards because he's driving, but the wife's sitting on her phone. At what point can she pick up her phone and everything that pops up?
Oh, Donna, that's what they did.
Right.
When you get to it, it's a geo area, when you go
Yeah.
to the area,
Yeah.
that's
But to be,
geofencing.
I
Thank
do
you.
want to, I just want to add this one thing though too. I know we're getting pretty late. I do want to add this, is that I have been advertising for my business for 4 years now. And Facebook, when I first started, was a huge driver of my business. And I could put in $100 budget into boosting my post, and I would hear consistently, you guys don't understand how many women would come in and be like, I don't understand how you just popped up on my Facebook. When I tell you the algorithm has changed for Facebook, and it no longer works to that degree anymore. So for us to be putting a substantial $7,500 more into a budget for social media, it's not working in the same way that it was before. And I know I'm only one person, I'm only one example, but I can tell you it has definitely impacted me significantly, the change in the algorithm for
It's
just
very different,
Facebook.
and it used
It
to be
is very, very
so
different.
beneficial.
It
It
was
used to be the best money you could
yes,
spend.
it was effective. It is no longer as effective as I think a lot of people think it is. People are on social media, but that comes back to the content being great and people having followers and things like that, not necessarily these boosted posts.
So I do have, CBS has presented with a couple things, and this has been a little while ago, but this actually, may fall into this, opportunities. So she's got some new ones that she wanted to talk to me about, and it's along the lines of an electronic advertising versus, and I'm not talking about like commercials or whatever, like they do a lot more than, and I didn't realize that until we sat down and talked. But I can send you what they've sent, and that may be something that you may want to look at.
That'd be good, yeah.
But Eric's also here, so Eric, if they were, because you guys work with a lot of different towns, if they're looking at potentially removing a billboard, but placing the funds elsewhere in an electric format, what are your suggestions or findings when it comes to the best utilization of that designation?
I mean, you're talking $8,000, possibly, spread out numerous areas that would benefit you guys. I mean, you could spend $8,000 more on railroad days. You could spend it in, so, I mean, that's hard to say. Really, the billboard is, it's painful to hear this. Because you're on 95, and you get
is it fair to say that there's a gray area with tourism dollars and the billboard content? Because I hear constantly that because our duties as tourism is to drive people to heads and beds, but that's not exactly what we're relaying when we have a billboard that says shop and dine in downtown Selma. So it's a bit contradicting. I
That's
know.
why, yeah, Ms. Donald doesn't, she suggested that we do not lose our hotel focus when we discuss the replacement of the vinyls and billboards. And I understand that because that's
what,
essentially where our
yeah, that's where
But
money
I
is.
do think giving them a reason to plan a stay in Selma, does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So I can't see utilizing both of the billboards for hotels. But
No, I agree.
can see, so I do think we want to make sure that we keep that focus somehow. So even if we drive away from a billboard, we still need to figure out how to drive a focus of planning a stay in Selma.
Yeah. I think this needs to be something that we continue to think about, and I think we need to
Absolutely.
schedule a meeting.
And I'm gonna, you're talking about scheduling a meeting, and I know Dalton's probably gonna throw darts at me, but, the closer we get to railroad days, we have to meet more than once a month. So I don't know how often you guys are available, and maybe if we do keep some more frequent ones between now and railroad days, they're shorter. But keep that in mind. I know the next council meeting is the September 5th, is when you would put it on agenda review, right? Yes, so it would be September 5th. If there is a chance that we can get back together for an hour meeting, between now and that meeting, that actually might be great, because we're going to have a couple more before railroad days, like, it's, and I'm gonna call in our department heads and our departments so that they're understanding what their needs are, which we have, they've all been here, they were all here last year, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But they'll need to be called in as well. So if there is availability to have something between now and then, it may benefit the billboard discussion.
Well, I do have a question. So if we have a meeting on the 5th, the same day that they're having theirs at night, are we allowed to still be on the agenda? Okay, so the reason why I'm asking this is, so we started a downtown business owners networking group, and we have met once now, which set the expectation for what was going forward. And our next meeting is set tentatively right now for September 1st. So if I could present this billboard conversation to the small businesses network that we have for downtown, then I'd have more information to be able to bring before us for the 5th, and then for council on the 5th as well.
I mean,
Not saying that we can't meet before then, but I'm just saying it
So
would
you're
be,
saying September 5th is the next one?
I think that would be beneficial if you
because
guys are
that would
okay
be
with
a
that.
little over 2 weeks, and so we'll have some more definite, we'll have our entire vendor and food truck list, specified, and, we can, at that point, I want you guys to think about what your availability for railroad days is going to be. And I know that, you've got businesses to run and stuff like that, but as the committee, I would welcome any, hands on deck to have been part of the planning throughout the
Yep.
process. So,
I'll do it if you get me a hat.
I'm gonna get you a hat. Got one right now.
Just tell me what you need for me to do.
Yeah,
What you'd
exactly.
like for me to do.
Me too.
And I
Have
go
we
ahead and
started
schedule it.
volunteer list yet?
So, I'm gonna talk to Mr. James about that. He usually has a group come. The only problem with that is they show up that morning and they're it's kind of hard to point them in directions if they don't know the working. So we need to go and have a list of what that group can do when they get here, if they're still available. That's the ROTC from Triple S that comes. And if there are some other volunteers in the area, that are local that will be willing to help do some stuff, then.
Would it be beneficial to get a volunteer list together and possibly have a meeting with them ahead of time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that way we'd be able to better
And
direct
I'd
them.
love to initiate that this year, because we're gonna need.
Yeah, let's try to
Yeah.
tap into Activate Selma, they'll help us.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, cool.
And wayfinding is the last part of that, I've skipped over that. The signs are up, I don't know if you guys have seen them.
Yep.
The one sign that's missing, they're fixing to put it up, but it was refaced, so it's going up. NCTOT, the contact for that, they have asked for an overall plan for what the committee wants to see. This might be something we put on the back burner until after of our road days. But they wanna kinda see like where we're thinking we want signs to go in the future. It's not saying that we can do that this year, but they're just kinda wanting an overall, like, this is ideally where we'd like to put some more signs going forward.
Could you possibly send out that, that map of existing ones again?
Yes.
And then we could be brainstorming that.
So I think what I'm gonna do is place those on the larger Selma map that I have, so
Yeah.
that you can see everything, and then that way you can kind of develop your own thoughts.
Okay, that sounds good.
And that's all I have.
All right.
Tom, I just want to ask one question about the reduction of the billboard. You're gonna meet with them about trying to take it over with the businesses,
Yes.
and I'll try to do a little bit of research on other, ways to spend that money, so at least we come, from the council, we'll have
Yeah,
a few
Yep.
things, and if you have any ideas, I'll reach out to Donna or, somebody. They're the ones that are gonna know. Do we do geofencing? Do we,
Yeah. I would say though, if you feel strongly about this topic, and you want to show up to the presentation portion of it to council, that might not be a bad idea. Just so that it's, it's the tourism committee, so that would be September 5th at 6.
okay. Bylaws.
Do you
Oh, I'm
wanna
sorry, I
say,
thought we were done.
go on and schedule the meeting for September 5th?
Yes. Okay.
So we've discussed these in the past.
Mhm.
The other changes.
Sounds perfect. 9 a.m. for the win. Do we have to?
Well, we'll do it for you.
And discuss in the meetings with the tourism board, if you guys want to meetings now, instead of having we can already have a set schedule for meetings over the course of the year. That's, we can always schedule special meetings.
Probably
Yes.
need that for 2025.
I think the concern with adding more is that if one of you guys do miss it, then it's still a one and done.
Yeah.
So I think leaving 4 is a benefit
It's a
where,
percentage, it's a percentage, right?
Yes.
I would
oh,
not
it's just
change.
25%?
Keep it quarterly.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that means you can only miss one, but if you add more to it,
Okay, yeah.
then you have the ability to miss
If you have
Yeah.
4, if you have 1 meeting a month, then you miss.
I mean, we can't.
I wouldn't even
continue to
think about
call
that.
special-
3.
We can continue to call special meetings,
It has been
but
relatively easy to coordinate, so.
Do
Yeah.
the special meetings count as we're attending, so that doesn't, like-
You don't
Yeah,
get
you're
points
for regular.
missing from you if you miss a special meeting.
but if you miss the regular
It's a
quarter?
one and done.
Okay.
Yeah, like you miss one and then if you miss another, you're done.
okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
confirm that.
We'll confirm that.
Okay. But I am gonna put it out there too, that if we were to put more on the schedule, and this is me as an individual, if someone is missing 3 meetings in a year, that's gonna tick me off as an individual, because I would be making the time to come to this meeting as, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that anybody would be like that, but we don't know where all of these seats sit for a long period of time. And I know if I'm gonna make the commitment, or you are gonna make the commitment, you want the person next to you to make that same commitment. And
I do
3's a
think
lot
that-
to miss.
The benefit of scheduling more
Mhm.
is to know that, like, when you look at your calendar to plan something, you already know it's there.
Yeah.
So instead of having to plan around, like, vacations or such.
Is that something that we could do that's unofficial though? Like, hey, you guys, we have these 4 that are whatchamacallit, and then within ourselves, like right now in a meeting, we're about to call another special meeting. Couldn't we just call a special meeting for these certain dates?
But we can't call a special meeting.
We can't call a special meeting without having the exact items we're gonna be discussing.
Oh,
in the
yes.
notice.
Got
Because we technically have to have that 48-hour notice. We could go ahead and notice it now, but then we have to, that notice would really take effect if we had stuff to be discussed. Does that make sense?
Okay, so even if we decided, hey, we wanna do it in July, September, whatever, blah, 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 so you have to immediately announce those?
I have, if that's going to be the official, like, notice of the special meeting, it has to include all the business items.
Does it have to be official notice yet, though? Or,
Wouldn't be.
okay,
We have to re-notice it technically 48 hours minimum.
okay,
So it doesn't really make sense to do it during the meeting if we're just gonna have to do it later on.
okay.
We would come to a consensus, kind of a good schedule.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe me and you and Nikki can kind of coordinate exactly what we want to jot down each business item to discuss.
okay.
So it's really up to you guys if you want to come up with a tentative date schedule, then we can just coordinate together us through, make sure that this is
All of our other committees, the rec board, appearance, planning, everything, it's appearance, rec, and planning. They all three meet once a month. That's there. The Board of Adjustments is quarterly.
So same schedule as you guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know that it's something you have to decide right now.
You guys can approve these as presented, and we can have a discussion later on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm really good either way for you guys. Like, I'm good with a schedule because I like to
do
plan
think
things
that-
out, but I'm also good if you guys aren't. Like, that's okay too.
Probably need to, as the Railroad Days Committee, and I know this is adding on a lot, I do think you need to plan for once a month.
I agree.
Whether it's quarterly scheduled
Yeah,
or special call
Yeah,
meetings.
yeah.
Cause
one of
then
the
it
two.
won't go on 2 hours like this morning.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up. Speaking of that.
Okay, motion to approve the changes for the bylaws governing the Selma Tourism Advisory Board Committee. Do I have a motion to approve?
Approve.
And a second?
I second.
Hit that thing.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I have a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Second. Second.